Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Karen. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kelsey. Have a seat. Okay, so how are you today?
I'm doing okay today. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Before we start, I just wanted to explain confidentiality to you
Okay.
since this is our first meeting. So anything that you say in here stays between you and I. I
Okay.
won't tell anyone else, so feel free to say whatever you would like. The only time I will break is if you tell me you are going to harm yourself or someone else, or if a child is at risk of abuse,
Okay.
or something along those lines, okay?
Yep, I understand.
Perfect. Do you have any questions about it?
No.
Okay. All right, so we can get started. So I just want to ask you, what is your biggest concern right now?
Well, my biggest concern right now has to be the fact that I have noticed that my drinking habits have increased significantly over the last about 3 months.
Okay.
I used to just drink when I got home from work. I'd have a few glasses of wine. Now it's escalated to like 7 glasses of wine. And I have also, it's hard for me to admit it because I'm ashamed of it, but I've also been putting alcohol in my mug that I bring to work with me. And I've been drunk most days for the last 3 months, and it's really starting to have a negative effect on my life.
Okay. So thank you for your honesty. I know that can't be easy to share, but I appreciate that. So what I'm hearing is it started as sort of a social or recreational habit, and now it's progressing, and you're feeling like it's getting out of control.
Right.
All right. Okay. So we can work with that. So if you didn't change anything right now and you continued this behavior, what would be some positive things on continuing to drink like you are?
Well, the reason I do it is because I'm stressed out. I would consider myself generally unhappy with my current setup in life.
Okay.
At work, I no longer enjoy my job. I haven't for a long time. And so when I drink, it makes it easier to get through the day. It manages my stress, and it makes me a happier person. But I don't know if that necessarily improves my work itself, but I am more pleasant to be around when I'm in the office. So, and it also makes it easier for me to tolerate my husband at home, as we've had some issues recently. And if when I'm not drinking, I'm more likely to have a big explosion, and it turns into this massive argument. And so when I'm drinking, it really helps me to avoid that. So those are the positive things that come out of it. Basically, I'm just more relaxed.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you use it as a coping mechanism to kind of numb yourself from the stresses in your life.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what are some negative things that would come with continuing your drinking?
Well, chances are that if I continue drinking, especially at work, somebody is going to catch on if they haven't already. And there's a very good chance that I could lose my job because I am a receptionist at a high school.
Okay.
So if I get caught doing that, I will lose my job. And as much as I dislike it, I'm not currently in a position that I'm able to switch jobs comfortably. I'm not financially stable enough to be able to do that at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't stop drinking, there's a good chance that I could face a financial downfall. Also, I know that my drinking has affected my daughter, and I couldn't say how, because truthfully, because of my drinking, I've been quite neglectful of her. And I don't know what's going on in her life. I've basically been living in my own bubble, and I'm afraid that if this continues, I'm going to completely lose the relationship with my daughter altogether. My relationship with my husband is already bad, but he seems to be getting increasingly frustrated with me because of the fact that the only way I can be relaxed right now is if I'm drinking, and that has seemed to cause him some distress.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is the negatives of your drinking outweigh the positives. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And that's fine to not be sure yet. It's our first meeting. Let's go through it. So I appreciate how hard it must be to be honest and think about all of those things. So if we're working towards new goals or even cutting down on your drinking, what are some strengths that you have that we can build off of?
Well, as much as I don't like my job, truthfully, I'm good at it. Or at least I was before the drinking increased. I'm familiar with it. I know what I'm doing. And I know that I get the job done and to an above and beyond standard until things went downhill.
Right.
I'm typically fairly charismatic. I have no problem like speaking in a crowd, and I can advocate for people, which I often have to do in my position working at the school.
Right.
But it's hard for me to really think about my strengths right now, because I feel like I'm only a shell of that person that I was when I first started. So the way things are currently, I would say that I'm not sure if any of those are relevant, but they're what I know of myself. So
Okay. No, those are great strengths that you identified. And it's so much easier for us to be harder on ourselves than it is to think about what we're good at. Right? For anyone.
Right.
Okay. So right now, if we were going to make one goal you wanted to work towards, what would that be?
I would like to stop drinking at work.
Okay.
I would like to be able to manage my stress in a different way so that I can get through the day and not make my coworkers miserable by me being miserable, without having to potentially do something that's going to make me lose my job.
Okay. So that's something we can work towards. We don't have to just cut out drinking completely. We can make a plan to just cut down on your drinking.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds fair, because I don't know if I'm fully ready to quit drinking, but I am ready to gain control over my professional life.
Good, and that's a great place to start. You also mentioned that you have a problematic relationship with your husband. Can you tell me more about that?
Well, we've been married for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when we first got together, as it always is, things were great.
Mm-hmm.
We had a daughter, and she's 16, and her name is Katie. And she's lovely. But I fear that our toxic relationship has actually rubbed off onto her as well.
Okay.
We fight a lot over money, over our sex lives, over even we can't even agree on where to go for a vacation. It seems like everything is an argument. It seems that we have too many pots on the stove and they're all boiling at the same time. And so we're never able to resolve just one issue. It's always, we'll start arguing about one issue and then it'll explode into all these other issues. And you did this, this, and this like 3 weeks ago, a month ago. So he gets increasingly aggressive when we fight. He's never like hit me or beat me, but he's has a strong yelling voice, which I fear affects our child, and I know that neighbors have heard us arguing, and it's not a peaceful home with the two of us in it. We've talked about divorce, but our financial situation, it's not terrible, but it's not great. If we were separate, we would be in a bad situation.
Okay.
It's together that we're being able to manage. He's a janitor, and so we both work for the school board.
Okay. So I would like to suggest, if you're open to it, maybe doing some individual and family counseling in the future.
Yeah, I would have to ask him.
Yeah, of course.
But I could see that possibly.
Okay.
I would be interested. I can't speak for him.
Right.
But.
Perfect. Okay. So, would you like to set up another appointment for next time?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Well, that's all the time we have for today, but thank you so much for coming in.
Okay.
And let's set up our next appointment.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.